Hey, everybody. Manifesting with Meg, Conversations with Extraordinary People. I am here today with an incredible Christmas edition. Obviously, you can see my guest is definitely in the spirit of the holiday season, which I love. And furthermore, I love today's theme. It's heading toward the end of November. Can you believe it's the end of November, the month of gratitude? And episode 123 is all about stopping and smelling the roses. This is La Dolce Vita Day. How about that, Suzanne Simonetti?
I love hearing it.
I mean, how much better could it get? For real. For real. So anyway, all of you out there, get ready, sit back, enjoy. This is going to be a wonderful, uplifting show. I know Suzanne has so much to share with all of you. I love her to death, and she knows it. She's a part of my Fab Five, one of my favorite people in the world. And let me introduce her to you. Before I do, remember, this is heading toward the end of the year of Empowered Through Purpose. You still got time, almost December, yay. And we have months of transformation, dreams, inspiration, true happiness, discovering bliss, and we're always just a conversation away of extraordinary. So time to wake up, and the universe is ready to listen to our wishes, because that's the beauty of Christmas. We get to wish upon a star and dream big and all of the fun, awe-inspiring magic and miracles. But the gratitude I have for November is here. Suzanne is here. So here we go. Everybody get intentional, set your intentions. Let's really, really, really rev up. This is the end of the month of November. Let's really all together. My intention always this month has been for peace. I really do want to put that vibration, that energy of love out there. I can't believe Suzanne's here because she's perfect for this. La Dolce Vita, the sweet life, and I get to share it with her. Yay. Suzanne Simonetti is a USA Today best-selling author of her debut novel, The Sound of Wings. Yes, everybody, she is one of my favorite butterflies. Thank you. She was born in the Bronx and grew up in the New York suburbs. She holds a BS in marketing and lives on Capemay Harbor. Thus, perhaps the love and affinity for this area, this beautiful place, with her husband, Joe. Love Joe. He's a fantastic, wonderful addition to her life. Let me tell you, I've met him and he's wonderful as well. When not on her paddleboard or yoga mat, she can be found at the beach nibbling snacks with her nose planted in a book. And that is the truth. She is one of the best and most generous authors, readers, everything. And she just launched a new Christmas book entitled A Capemay Christmas Story, which we will be talking about. I'm so excited. It's a celebration of family and love in America's first seaside resort, which Suzanne described as her love letter to Capemay. Oh my God, Suze, so glad to have you here with me today. I just am so proud of you. I'm so excited for you. All of this success around your writing, your authorship, all of the above. How are you today?
I'm great, Meg. And thank you for saying all the beautiful things you said and having me back. It's almost going to be 3 years since we did Manifesting with Meg together. That blows my mind.
That blows my mind. God, it's been 3 years. How time does fly when you're having fun. We have Valerie Taylor on. Hey, Val, we love her too. She's a part of our author cohort with She Writes Press, and what an incredible group of women authors. And certainly one of the best days in my life is when I saw Suzanne's face on the Zoom room. And I'm so blessed to say that I've gotten to meet her in person. She is an amazing person. And I get to, like I said, share her with you all today. So what a perfect time to interview you, Suzanne, my God, with your new book, A Capemay Christmas Story. And then the end of season 6, which is Empowered Through Purpose. And I get to share both the inspiration you bring and this wonderful notion of Christmas. So tell me.
It all just synced up, the timing and the energies. And I'll tell you, when I had the idea for this Christmas story, which was last October, it was just over a year. One of the things I was thinking about when I was like working on my plans was, it's going to be so cool to be back on with Meg again, because I'm going to have a new book to talk about. And it's been a while since I've done the show. So I had you in my vision. I want you to know that.
Well, I have to tell you, the matter of fact, if I could talk to you forever, you know that, and we could be on here forever, but literally I'm really truly focused on bringing out the beauty of you. And that makes me feel so incredibly special that you just said that, because, you know, we always wonder how we touch another's life. And I think that in many ways, since, you know, I don't know, people are dealing with a lot of, you know, holiday depression perhaps, or maybe that and social isolation. But with regard to the incredible community that's out there for all of us, just waiting to take us in and share with us their beautiful stories and their adventure, you definitely do that with this book, as well as Sound of Wings. And I do want to start today with the theme, which I think is an incredible, incredible part of my life, the Italian part of us. I know we kind of align there too. You're married to a paisan, so that's awesome. And you've got it in your blood too. But the Dolce Vita, stop and smell the roses. And I was really contemplating this morning while I was doing my walk with my dog. And I was thinking about how incredible it is just to be present in the time that we have and how we are living our lives. And I love this quote. It's plenty of people miss their share of happiness, not because they've never found it, but because they didn't stop to enjoy it. And I really, really, with all intention, come to this space with you today with the notion of how do we be present for each other. And I think in many themes of your book, I mean, certainly with the family dynamics, et cetera, that comes to life, but I'll ask you more about that. But this whole thing about, delight in the here and now, delight in the now. And we're always looking for the future, and then we get anxious about it. But the treasures that we have in our lives right now are right before us. And this perspective really does change and shift you, because it's not a striving for, it's a thriving in. And I really, I'm like I said,
Meg, you just said the key word, which is perspective. And it really is, it's a perspective shift.
Yeah.
Because we are always striving for more, which is great. It's great to be striving for more, but not so that you lose the moment that you're in.
Yeah.
I have things to do. You have a lot of things going on, but I'm not thinking about anything but this right now.
Yeah.
And this special moment and sharing this time with you. And we really need to start applying that. I sound like I'm preaching, but I'm really talking to myself as well. Appreciating the moments as they're happening, and then put yourself in there. And so the shift of perspective of, oh, what do I got to do? And I'm always behind. No, this is what, just focus on one thing at a time. And I'm really striving to do it every day, but it has helped. It really has.
Well, you just said to me about a few minutes ago that October is when you started writing this book. And here we are in December, a year later, which, I think after looking at how long it took us to write our first book, that's kind of unheard of. It's kind of like, wow. So, I want to go back to the fact that, I want to really take advantage of this moment to just celebrate you, and the fact that you put your head down and you did the work, which a lot of people talk about, but you actually did, and you inspire so many others to do the same. I think that's fantastic.
Hope so. I hope certainly by the end of the show that we will have accomplished that. I want to say this. I know we wait till the very end to pick what number I picked. I went completely with my intuition on this, Meg, with my gut. I picked a number and I opened to the page, and could not believe it ties into exactly what you're saying. So it ties into my whole journey of deciding to do this Christmas novella and getting it done.
Well, I'm gonna shake it up a little bit, since you're shaking it up a little bit, and I'm gonna let you go ahead and tell us what was your intention for this interview today, so that we can start there, because I think that's beautiful if that is something that spoke to you right away.
It just ties in so beautifully. Okay, so I picked 106 as the page number, and I had no idea what the date was.
So what was your intention first?
Oh, my intention? Yeah. Oh, well, it was to focus on the moment. Live in the moment. Live in the moment, and of anything that you're working on.
I love it.
Here it is. Surprise yourself. Set a goal to achieve something that is so big, so exhilarating that it excites you and scares you at the same time. Bob Proctor. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Wow.
Exactly. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I couldn't. Yeah. And it goes on. I mean, it's a beautiful passage. I love your book, by the way.
Thank you. I want to go back to that point with what you just said, is surprise yourself. Like, this year has surprisingly gone by so quickly. It's really kind of shocking if you think about it. Last year, we were getting ready to go to Santa Fe, New Mexico to actually meet in person for the first time with so many authors. You, Leslie Rasmussen, a lot of Carolyn Arnold was there, a lot of wonderful people, Amy Ferris, and then Joni Kane, all these really great creative people. And here we are a year later going, what I think it's really interesting. So back to you and now onto your story, or rather now this new story, this wonderful new story. You've gone from a USA bestselling author, so there could be little discussion or disagreement that you are a skilled author, and especially with regard to the women's fiction genre. And that's why I say I certainly encourage encourage many to go out and get your books, because you do bring a sense of a levity to the world. You know, for instance, with these wonderful interactions and relationships that you do so well, you write so well. And I know that I want to like introduce people to this book, because I think look at this gorgeous cover, everybody, a Cape May Christmas story. It's absolutely stunning. But I want to give everybody a little bit of a background as to what the book's about, so then we can start talking about, you know, your process and how you got to where you are right now, because I think it's really, really inspirational in so many facets that, you know, like I said, you put your mind to it, you were present in the moment, you just let the story speak through you. So this is the backstory, the synopsis, so I don't ruin anything for you guys. It's all there. This Christmas was different. Rita's sons, now grown men, needed her. She had to get it right. I mean, even starting there, I don't even know if I really want to go and you know, tell more, but you have this wonderful character, Rita Abernathy, and her lifelong dream has come true. She and her husband, Charles, are proud owners of a 150-year-old Victorian home in the historic district of Cape May. Just that alone is an incredible pictorial, like literally you can see it, you know, comes to life. For years, they made treasured family members in the quaint coastal town, spending time at the beach during the summer and experiencing true Christmas magic, which I believe in. During the holiday season, Rita believes that Cape May's magic has returned to their lives at just the right time. And then will the magic of Cape May be enough to heal their fractured family? And you'll have to read more about the relationships going there with her two sons. But turning back to you, because I literally don't want to talk as much as I want you to. Where did this come from?
So I'm going to go to the beginning. When it was last October, you'll love this. It was October 4th, which would have been my late father's 80th birthday. And he's been gone many, many years, but it was just one of those things. I'm a dates person, just like you.
Just like me.
And I was at my first in-person book club with the gals from the Wines and Spines book club here in Cape May. And we went to Lucky Bones and we were talking about The Sound of Wings. And I left that lunch feeling completely charged. I was like, I want to give them more. I need more. I need more. And within the next couple of days, Meg, the idea came to me. I said, what can I feasibly get done that I can do? And I went, I know what I can do. And the Christmas idea came to me and I hit the ground running. Wow. And Valerie's on watching. I had a 2-hour Zoom with her. Wow. She's in the acknowledgments. She helped me out. I mean, the writers, they really showed up, and a lot of our friends that we share really stepped up to help. But that's where it started. And I tell you, Meg, the hardest thing for writing a little book like this for me was I'm focusing on the Christmas theme. So I can't really veer too far off the path, because I'm going to give, you know, a feel-good story. But at the same time, I come from the world that if you're writing fiction, if you're going to keep readers turning pages, there needs to be some kind of conflict. Yeah. And so I said, okay, well, I got to get the conflict, but I don't want it to be too big, but enough. Yeah. So that was the balancing act that I had to try and navigate. Yeah. Well,
I've been in preparation for this conversation today. I told you at the outset, I have been like completely overdosing on Hallmark movies, like a Christmas spirit for sure. And, you know, shout out to Joni Kane, who is the mother of all Hallmark Christmas movies. Love her. And I see this story, and that takes me back to seeing Cape May through your eyes. And that is super exciting for me, because it is a beautiful little town on the seaside. So
it is. And the first time that Joe and I, when we were first doing research on the town, I said, I have to get down there in the off season. Well, they call it the off season, but really during the holidays, when things just come back to life here in Cape May. And the first time I went to the Christmas parade was exactly 10 years ago. It was in 2013. And I met a bunch of people who I'm still friends with in the town that year. And I was blown away. I mean, we're talking about horses and carriages riding by a fully lit Victorian with sleigh bells. And I was like, what have I just stepped into? I mean, it is just beautiful.
Oh my God. It's like, it's like a Christmas Carol or something like that. You know, the things that make your heart like dream and just fantasize about what Christmas, you know, should be. You know, a year ago, October, and I know that you're like, you know, contemplating the story, and then it shows up. So you have this inspiration from the parade. And then right now you are in Cape May, correct? You're there.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yes.
what is it? So it's so funny because I know place is so important. And I know that when we write, you want someone to feel like they're standing in your shoes, and you do an excellent job of that. So if anybody out there is interested in Cape May and you want a taste of it, or a lot of taste of it, believe me, Suzanne does an incredible job with this story. But let me ask you something. Was there parts of your own story that come through in this book, and anything from, inspired by The Sound of Wings that you tie into this? I know that in many ways we were talking about, how one book complements the other. I know the place is the same for sure.
Yeah. The place is the same for sure. The key, the theme difference would be, this is of course set around Christmas time, but one thing that's risen to the surface for me is I feel like I'm always going to write about strong female connections, because even in this story there was the connection between Rita and her daughter-in-law Shannon.
Yeah.
And that really came up quickly for me, and it was important for me to cover. And then of course I got to take Shannon and show her the eye, because I needed the newbie in the town. I needed somebody who had never been to Cape May seeing it for the first time, just like I did 10 years ago, and I needed to make sure that were translated.
Oh, wow. You did a great job. I love that you just explained that, because it certainly does come through, as a new perspective, when she sees this town. And the cover is just stunning. I mean, like, if anybody feels like they need to have a little respite, maybe a little break, you could just look at this cover and it just makes you so happy. So tell me, what was the inspiration behind that?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was Joe and I spent a whole weekend in Cape May last year in February, banging out a creative design brief for the designer, and giving her, someone who hadn't been here, who hadn't read the story. I was like, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Here's what I want. I want a Charles Dickens feel. You see the script and the coloring and everything. And, it's a seaside town. I told her, please don't give me mountains of snow, because it's just not feasible in South Jersey this time of year. We're not going to get, it could happen, but we're not going to get mountains of snow, in December, knock on wood. And so there were a couple things like that, and she just nailed it. When I saw the sunset, because Cape May is also known for its spectacular sunsets, I said, oh my. And I love the way it worked with the tagline at the top, which is just a celebration of family and love in America's first seaside resort.
No, it
just came together nicely. I'm glad you like it.
No, it's incredible. And I love that you're saying about the Charles Dickens tie-in, because as you all know, we do have our wonderful inspirational quotes that my authors or my guests bring to the fore when they come here. And today, yay, since we're heading into the holidays and we're heading into that, Suzanne has bedazzled all of us with one of the best, Charles Dickens. And the first one is: a wonderful fact to reflect upon, that every human creature is constituted to be that profound secret and mystery to every other. Oh my God.
Oh my God. To me, that jumped off the page. As a fiction novelist, I was like, oh, I wish I could have met this guy. And he's such a writer. That's such a writerly thing to think, that there's a mystery behind everyone you're meeting, because that's what we're doing when we sit down at the page. We're creating these characters from the ether. We're coming up with these, and because we're putting together, sort of, we're pulling out the mystery and the layers, and I just love the way his mind worked. When I read that quote, I said, I got to tie this in. I have to put that in, because as a writer, like I said, it really spoke to me. Yeah.
Do you know Charles Dickens' origin story around the Christmas Carol?
I just watched. I'm glad you asked me this. I just watched The Man Who Invented Christmas.
Yes.
That Jennifer Milius, who runs the Tut Fish podcast I was just on, that'll air in January. She was the one who said, go check out The Man Who Invented Christmas. And last week I was alone. Joe was up north, and I got comfortable with my cup of tea and I watched it. I couldn't believe it. Almost exactly what happened to me, where he had this idea where he's like, I'm going to grab Christmas. I'm going to write this story. He did it in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
Yeah. And it was a fluke, because he was like at his end. He was literally destitute.
Because Oliver Twist had come out, and then he had several flops. It was more than 2. I think he had 3 flops, and he was desperate for something. And I'm like, So I feel even more connected to Charles Dickens than I ever have before.
Oh
And
my
who
God.
saw that coming?
I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to shout out to Leslie Rasmussen's on and Louis Be Free. Louis, we love you, Louis, and Val's on. So we definitely have a wonderful, wonderful audience today. Amazing people, amazing authors as well. And yes, I feel like Charles Dickens is in the room with us today because look at what he wrote. A wonderful fact to reflect on, that every human creature is constituted to be that profound secret and mystery to every other. Oh my God, just unwrap that a little bit. Oh
Isn't
my
that crazy?
macaroni. I was like,
oh, and you know what's funny about a quote like that, Meg? At different stages in my life, it wouldn't have really affected me much, but now it did. At this age and this moment in my journey, I was like, oh, I love it.
I love it because it really goes back to the whole stop and smell the roses and really think about who shows up on your stage of life and get really excited about it because you never know what kind of unfolding will happen by virtue of how the people interact. And that goes back really to your story too, because the different relationships, and I love, because it says America, celebration of family and love, but that's it, a celebration of family and love in a situation that might not be a celebration. We all know the holidays are a bit challenging one way or the other. And speak of the wonderful angel, Jen Milius is on as well. I think she must have heard her name.
Yeah. For any writers out there, if you're listening, you should follow the Tutfish podcast. It's really informative. She's had some amazing guests on there. That's my plug for Jen because it's a great podcast.
She's awesome. And, I love that you're doing the generosity thing because she and you and everyone on here generally have something wonderful to offer in their own unique voice. And I say, watch it and you can learn so much from it for sure. And let's move on to the next one, which I love. Oh my God. The sun himself is weak when his first rises and gathers strength and courage as the day gets on. Charles, gosh, he's a genius. He's literally a genius.
And you know what I love about it, Meg? I'm going to tie the first one in. I'll say the first one speaks to sort of my writing because it's like creating characters. And this speaks to, I'll go so far as to say aging. The sun, because as we get older, as we go through time, we do gain strength and courage. And if you want to take it to simple terms, just even as the day goes on. Sometimes you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. And I don't know if you do this. I'm sure you do. I say to myself, I'm not going to be able to get through the day in this kind of a mood. I got to change this quick. And then I'll figure out, I'll listen to something, I'll read something to change it and to gain that strength and courage. But you always I'm always mindful of that. I try not to let my thoughts go too far. You know what I mean?
This is so ultimately beautiful because what you just said is perfect. I have a 30-day challenge where I'm supposed to wake up every day and say, I'm grateful I'm alive. Something so basic. But the aging thing, it really does impact you. My birthday is Friday and I'm literally thinking, oh my God, where did the last years go? And trying to do that, year in review kind of thing for myself to see in my mind how far I've come. And I think that this is beautiful, going back to where, years ago, I would have had such a path in front of myself. Now I'm just really trying to be in the moment and embracing what is the strength of who we are and the people. I literally cannot get by without my people. Like I find all of you each so incredibly beautiful and so incredibly powerful and empowering. And, reading all of you, it's just such a joy because I always dreamt of being surrounded by creatives, and look at my life now. It is surrounded by creatives. And yeah, I think this is wonderful, Suze. With regard to your writing process, I'm going to ask you this. Where do you see the strength and courage come to light the most?
With regard to my writing.
Or even your life right now. Let's go bigger.
I understand the question. It's so great that you asked me this, Meg, because when I saw it on the page, when you had first sent the questions to me, I was thinking determination, ambition. Those are all lovely words, but I went a little deeper. And what it is you're going to like this. It's self-love. That's what it is. It is.
I do love that.
Because I want better for myself. I want to feel better. So I work out. So I drink a lot of water. It's all comes down to self-love. All the things that you want for yourself, if you want to go that deep. And I know you do.
I love it. No, I do. You know, I like it. I know I like it when you like crack you open, but no, I would not crack like in that such a way. It's such a beautiful concept of actually loving the skin you're in and loving who you become and this whole process of journey of life. And, maybe, someone seeing you as a wonderful, asset to your journey. And I love it. I just think that's so beautiful and in many ways. And then, of course, we have one of my favorite, and I have to say, your decorations for all of those who are on the podcast, it's so Christmassy. If you get a chance, go hit the YouTube because you're going to love this. The most important thing in life is to stop saying, I wish, and start saying, I will. Charles Dickens.
And that ties right into, you can apply it to the law of attraction, but you can also tie it into doing, actually, making the steps to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
And I want this, or I wish this, but how about I will do this to get me one step closer to do that? I think that's really what I've been falling back on, and it's been working.
Well, I think in many ways, you have this incredibly solid fortitude that you really do put your mind to something and you see the other side. And it's interesting because, I love the fact that a lot of us have our little groups of tribe-ish people, and we all can go back there when we're all having like really crappy days and like, this is not what I wished for, However, we're able to like process it out. And we all, at the end of the day, laugh about it because, at the end of the day, what else do we do? But I do love the fact that you also encompass the whole thing about attracting. And there's a wonderful vibration around I will. There's a wonderful commitment around I will. And even going back to, your Christmas story, the way you wrote it, that's a complete I will to the universe, saying that I will step into the shoes as I've once dreamt them and see what comes to life and then get excited. And it all turns into stopping and smelling the roses once again. So yes. I absolutely love this, Suze. I love it. Everybody should say I will a couple times today. I will.
And even writing the story, there was challenging. There were days where I like didn't feel like doing it. I mean, this is a whole year we're talking.
I know.
But yeah, it's if you think about the I will, like one of the things I wanted to do with the story was do the town justice. And I like, can I do that? That's a big thing because it is so important. And they really do get Christmas right here. Can I do them justice?
Yeah.
And I feel I did. And I was determined to do that.
Well, we've all gotten to know Cape May a bit, the different bookstores, the Whale's Tail, right? That's a store.
Whale's Tail, baby.
I mean, definitely going to see that when I once get up there, right? But, I think that you've kind of introduced everybody to Cape May in a way that like I didn't even know it was there. I know that sounds, this is like the first seaside resort of America, but I didn't even know about it. And I'm from like my family's from New York, so even closer to that. So I want to thank you.
To make you feel a little better, truly, this is Eagle territory. And what I mean by that is if you're going to be coming down to Cape May, everyone's going to be doused in either Phillies or the Eagles. Yeah, so it's really influenced. A lot of Pennsylvanians, they were the first ones who vacationed here. Oh, like, well, among the first. It was Pennsylvania. So as New Yorkers, we weren't as familiar with this section of South Jersey. So you're exempt.
So for anyone out there, she's referring to the Philadelphia Eagles, the football team, which a lot of us only know about because of Taylor Swift. I know that's obnoxious because, I find that funny, but the Kelsey brothers, which I wouldn't say because Philadelphia, they have their own fans. So literally I won't insult anybody, but yeah. I know about them, but more so anyway. But I love that. I love the fact that, you're introducing this wonderful town to the world. And, also, I love the fact that you have gone from The Sound of Wings to now what is your Christmas story. And I'm going to put it up here because I think everyone should see your beautiful books together. One of the things I really, it is an escape to Cape May Island in both of the books. And look, they've won. Christmas Story, I'm sure will win, but the Sound of Wings has done such an amazing, job in the world of getting the attention of people who are literary, and you're such a good storyteller. But I'm curious, the message that you wanted people to take away from the Sound of Wings and the message from the Christmas Story, are they overlapping or is it very different to you?
I think if you dissect them, there's probably definitely messages in there that will coincide. It's relations with people. It's definitely finding yourself.
Yeah.
It, sure, it's about self-discovery. And I'll go back again to say that it's back to that self-love. What is your why?
Yeah.
Self-love. That's what's driving me is the love I have for myself. And I think it does tie into my characters and how they see themselves and how they relate to others
Yeah. No,
and other characters. Yeah.
it's a great, it's a great reminder, I think, to many. I think when you're, like I said, you engage with others, if you come from a place of, confidence or self-esteem, that self-love will come spilling through. Now, obviously, that I'm a big fan of manifesting because the show is called Manifesting with Meg. And I do believe, like I said before at the outset, I literally manifested a very creative life with these wonderful people I get to talk to, basically kind of incorporating my old profession with this new one. And, back to, back to you with regard to your process in manifesting, because you're a big manifester as well.
I
Like,
am.
what are some of the tools? I know you use the Pomodoro. I don't know if you want to speak to that, but what are the tools that you use for manifesting in your life now?
It's not so fancy, but it really does work. And I thought about this question a lot. It was the last one I answered when I was going through the material you sent me. Let me take a sip of water and think about
Oh,
this.
please. I love the cup. Yay.
Oh, look at that. Go away. I'm writing. This was a gift from Meg. My birthday was in July. Thank you, Meg. I drink so much water out of this.
I love it. I love it. Oh my God.
Okay. Checklists, and I'm not kidding. Checklists and to-do lists. So that old saying, they say, write it down if you're going to forget. You're going to forget it if you don't write it down. That is absolutely true for me now. I've forgotten so many things that now I write everything down. But this is what I mean. I keep a to-do list of the things that I know have to get done. It can be as simple as mailing something or going to the post office. Just
Yeah.
write everything down. The other thing I do, and you're going to love it, is I keep a mental record of the things I've already accomplished. And Joe and I will do that together. We'll say, okay, what do we get done in the last 3 months? And the two of us will just rattle off all of the stuff that we have accomplished in the last 90 days. And it's a lot.
Wow.
And if you keep doing that, then because you forget all the stuff that you do. But if you keep reminding yourself, I got this done, I got that done, I came this far, I'm look at how far I've come from 6 months ago.
Amazing.
It's going to make you want to keep going. It gives you the motivation to keep going. And I really feel emphatic about it because it's working for me.
I love it. It's kind of like remembrances for certain, like I feel like seeds, so that you can look back and you can see like the path where you followed to get to where you are today. That's so fantastic. I love it. And back to, I wonder, back to the fact that you included recipes in your book. I mean, like, this is not only a gift, the book, but you also included recipes. And I know that you are an amazing cook because I know you well. But the fact of the matter is, how did that come to mind? Like, where did that come from?
In all honesty, I had seen it done before. I had seen other people throw recipes into their Christmas books. And I think, quite frankly, it's a great idea. It also gave me something else to think about. So as I was writing the story, I was sort of considering, well, what are the things that might be nice to put in the back of the book? Does it fit here in this scene? So it actually made writing the story even that much more fun because it was like another component to the story itself.
So I have a question. Did you go back to the book club that you were in, that this whole idea emanated from? Did you go back already? Did you sit with them and talk about this book yet?
Not yet, but they all got free copies, and jingle bells, and they all got them. And we're going to work out another book club to meet again. But you know what the best part of that is, and this is going to make you bellow, because I saw one of them at Oktoberfest where I was selling the books. It was in September 30th, and she said to me, I said, "Look, I got my Christmas book is out." She goes, "That's great. Did you write the follow-up to The Sound of Wings?"
Oh.
They want the follow-up to The Sound of Wings, which is what I'm working on next. I know you're going to ask me that. That's what I'm working on. But
we've been talking about that because even after I finished Sound of Wings, I'm like, what happens next? Because you fall in love with the characters. And I think that that's what happens with everybody who writes a good fiction book. You fall in love with the characters that you want to see. Where did they go with this? I mean, please, like, I would love to even like tap into that, but maybe after the next book club with them, you'll leave that with the inspiration to
Another
like,
inspiration.
oh
Yeah,
my
it is,
God.
and it is funny when you hear from readers, and I kind of got a kick out of that. That I was like, they were the ones that gave me the kick in the pants to get this done. But
Mhm.
really, what they want is a follow up to the other book, and I'll speak to that because that's not something that I can rush. That's going to take a lot of time. It's really important, and I've
Yeah.
got 30,000 words written that I have to go over, and
Yeah.
I'm adding more. But I knew this was something that was a lot more feasible. Let's just say.
Well, I think that one of the most beautiful thing is that the offering, and also the offering of your talent, which is really you are a very talented writer, and you do a wonderful job, bringing people, like I said, into the world that you are telling the story about, which I think is fantastic. It really takes a lot of skill, the whole show don't tell, and a lot of people don't get it. So when you do get it, you become what you've always thought you were going to be. So back to one of my favorite questions, I adore you, but I think that there are so many different inspirations throughout our lives. And what was one of the biggest inspiration you had to become who you are today? The author, the wife, the philanthropist in many facts, in many ways. You're definitely someone who brings good to this world.
Well, I have so many inspirations. My aunt was very
Mhm.
big on the one who passed away. Yes, my mom's sister, Patricia, in 2018. She was very generous at Christmas time. Like we would have the presents would be coming out of the room. But to me, of course, it's not about that. It was the generosity of her heart. She didn't have
Mhm.
kids, and so she spoiled us. My husband, Joe, I know this is cliche, but it really is him because he has seen me go through so many changes in our 21 years together. He's seen me falter and fall and mess up and pull myself back up and pull myself and work really hard at something
Yeah.
and several times over. And it's great to have that,
Yeah.
need that. I needed it. I needed
Yeah.
it. So, and he himself has built his own business that he's trying to sell now. But so that he's definitely really kind of my wingman.
Well, that's beautiful, and
Yeah.
and I know that you guys are really a strong couple. You just lost his mother, your mother-in-law, Adeline. So I like to say that, this Christmas angel around you, will be those that you love and have lost. And also, I love the Christmas angels. It makes you feel like that's still there, and especially in a magical place like Cape May. It's very exciting.
Exciting, Meg, and her birthday is a day after yours. She would have been 91 on December
Wow.
2nd. And the last time we took her down here was 2017. And I have a picture of her that's in my book trailer of her blowing out a birthday candle.
Wow.
And I found it and I said to Joe, oh gosh, can I
Great.
use it? And then that's at the end of my trailer. You see in loving memory of Adeline Simonetti.
Oh my God, I
And
love
we
it.
are going back to that restaurant on Saturday, which is the parade day, December 2nd. Joe and I made reservations. We're going to be there. So I feel like she's been kind of part of it, even though she's now gone.
Oh my God. So I know that you might share with us in the feed the your trailer for certain, but I would love to see pictures of the parade on
Oh, yeah,
Tuesday on the second for sure. That sounds so exciting. I'm so
absolutely.
excited.
Sure.
Yeah, that's amazing, and I will say this. I know that we've talked about this a bit as well, but you've had such a wonderful writing career. I know a lot about you, and I know it's literally Diana's even here, so another Fab Five shows up today. So we know our people and the wonderful authors and the different stories we all have. But what have been one of the favorite highlights on your writing journey up into this point? I know that there's been so many, so
There
I
have been so many. I mean, if you want to talk about the little wins, I'll talk about the little wins. Like the first one was in the summer of 21 and I'm only catching us up since our last podcast.
yeah,
When when Wordy Traveler bought hundreds of my paperback. I
very
mean,
travelers.
that was a score. And I adore Cindy Nichols, who's the owner. She does a fabulous job with the Wordy Traveler book box subscription.
Yeah,
And then when Blackstone Audio bought my audio rights,
yeah.
that was a win. And of course, I can't say that the following spring when I hit the USA was like, do I have something here? I guess I got to keep writing.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. I mean, those 3 things, and like I would say, certainly, you over and over again. I think it has a lot to do with what you put out into the world, that generosity of spirit, Suze. I think that, in many ways people will gravitate toward that too. So it's not like this out of the blue, woo, and even with Wordy Traveler, what you've done with that, and certainly, and also the Christmas Story is on their list as well. So both of them for certain. I mean, all this stuff is becoming just such a beautiful collaboration into this path, this author path. And it's so funny. I'd like to actually really speak to this, because what was your notion at the outset? I know that we probably spoke about this at the last interview we have. Like, what did you think it was going to look like at this point in your journey?
Oh, I had no idea. You know what? I'm gonna take that back. I probably would have thought I would have had an agent and a traditional deal, and I would have been one of the lucky ones, and it didn't happen. And I'm not willing to waste any more time. And
Yeah.
that's why last year I took matters into my own hands, because like the clock is ticking.
Yeah.
I know I'm not that old, but I'm feeling it, and time is passing. And so um yeah, it does look different. I never in a million years would have thought I would have had The Sound of Wings. All the things would have happened with that, and then I would have squeezed out a Christmas novella. Like, it wasn't part of my, but sometimes that's just where you end up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you consider what you're experiencing now La Dolce Vita, the sweet life?
Oh, 100%. 100%. And there it is. It all goes back to what you first started with, which is perspective.
Yeah.
I've shifted my perspective. I don't I let go of that, what you were saying, that vision I had for myself of traditional and all this stuff. And I'm accepting where I'm at after a lot of hard work. It's a
Mhm.
lot of hard work to get here, even wearing this ridiculous Santa hat, you know?
I wish
And,
I had mine. I wish I had mine too.
and I'm having fun. And that's what it is. Have fun. You're gonna ask me for final inspiration.
Oh, no. I will in just a moment, because there is actually one more thing that I definitely want to make sure I squeeze in here from you, is that what are your dreams now, Suze?
Well, I wish I had an exact, but because I love this story and I love this town so much, I did start taking a class on how to write a holiday movie. I started that last night. I would love to turn this into a movie. I would love to pitch, write the script and pitch it, even, to Hallmark, and have it picked up. That would be great, because I think it would touch a lot of people.
Yeah,
It would touch
I
a lot
agree.
of people, and it's got to be some tweaking involved, because it's not ready for the screen. It has to be ready for the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, the I will component, I have no doubt that you will bring that to the big screen. Like we said before, I think that, a lot of the things that we can read, when we can actually see them in the world, it's so exciting. It's such great storytelling, and it's so important, because it is a reminder and inspirational component to others to, yeah, turn it into I wish to and I will, which I think is so fantastic. And now give us a final inspiration, Suze, that we can take starting this holiday season with us. The final, well, even not even the final, because I know I get so much inspiration from you, but what is an inspiration that we can use to keep our heads grounded, or perhaps, be a little magical?
Slow down. Slow
Mhm.
down. If you're running around, I do this all the time. I'm sure you do too, where you forget something and you have to turn around and go back into the house. Slow down, think about what you're doing, be mindful, and also listen to yourself, because there's
Mhm.
so much noise wheeling around us all the time
Yeah.
that sometimes we don't know what we think about something, or we don't know how to feel about something, because there's too many people, with opinions. Be still, slow down, get quiet, and get in touch with yourself. Really listen to yourself and ask yourself these questions. You
Yeah.
know, yeah.
And do you go to the seaside to sit there? I know I see pictures of you dancing around, the gorgeous photo shoot that you had, by the way. Beautiful. Check out her pictures on her website, which we'll definitely plug right now. It's SuzanneSimonetti.com. SuzanneSimonetti.com. COM. So go check it out. She's got a beautiful, beautiful pictorial display of all the wonderful things of Cape May and everything that she's doing, for that matter.
Meg, you're lucky. You're right. I'm very lucky to have the ocean 3/4 of a mile down the street, the harbor right here. So yes, I connect to water, and I shut everything down, Go for the walk. I might have said that the last time, but I still really believe it. I think because there's just so much wheeling around us, especially now more than ever.
Yeah, no, and one of the things I do believe, is when you're feeling the chaos around you and you feel like you don't have time to slow down. They said that wonderful Buddhist quote, or instead of taking 5, then take 10. Because really, to experience life in front of you, the beautiful notion of slowing down and really being present. I love it, Suze. This is really so
I
important.
wanted to say one more thing because you're going to love this. It ties into to meditation. I was just thinking this. Okay, I heard someone say the other day that when people say I don't have time to meditate, she said, well, that's like saying I'm too dirty to take a bath.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like you need it more than ever. When you're that busy and you're that crazy, that's when you need it the most. And I just thought that was fascinating.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love about you, and I will say this, is that you make people feel seen and feel heard. And you have an incredible empathetic and sensitive side to you that, holds somebody, holds them. And I think that's what your stories do. It really does offer this wonderful holding of the reader as they go through the process in both of your books. And I can't wait to see what comes out of your beautiful mind next. For certain. Well, I think, I hate to, our conversations are always going on and on and on and on.
Blue.
What is your Christmas wish, I would say, because, for everyone as we end today?
My Christmas wish, feel good. Feel good and think about what it means to feel good, what's going to make you feel good. It could be going to get a manicure, your hair done. It just feel good, take time for yourself, and yeah, try and be happy. There's a lot to be happy about. There's a lot to be miserable about, but there's also a lot to be happy about.
Yeah.
And focus on that if you can. Hold on to those things because they're going to be gone.
And these books are wonderful stocking stuffers, everybody. Go out there and get it. Suzanne, where can they get these books? Please tell us.
Okay, you can go to my website or you can get them wherever books are sold. They're available on Amazon.
And you have some events coming up. I saw the list. So share with us. Maybe somebody can come see you in person and get a nice copy.
I might do another signing at Splash. I've been talking to the owner, had indicated something in town. I just had a couple of events behind me, and then I'm going to be in Asbury Park on Friday, December 8th.
Oh,
yeah. So, but I'll be announcing more, sightings in Cape May if I'm going to be around.
Yeah. So go check out her on Facebook at Suzanne Simonetti author. That is her page, and also on her Instagram account, where she does put up a lot of wonderful content as well, a lot of inspirational content, feel good stuff that we all need. At least I know I do. So, with that in mind, Suzanne, I absolutely love that we started the show with the inspiration or the insight that matches. And I love the fact that we're ending it certainly on these wonderful notes of slow down, self-love, be present, all of the above, but more than I can ever imagine. I wish all of you the happiest, most filled with love and celebration this Christmas season. Nobody has a corner on the Christmas holiday. You do you, whatever feels good to that. Read the books that come to life, watch the movies on the screen. Pray that we got this one coming up real soon, because I know it'll be a wonderful story. And for that matter, I want to say how much I adore you. This has been an incredible, wonderful gift to me, Suzanne. So I will give you the last word. As far as, I guess for me, I want a last word for you.
I'm going to say one last thing. I want to thank you, Meg, and all the podcasters out there for giving writers like me a platform and a chance to be able to share and connect. Because without you guys, we wouldn't have these connections. And you make it happen and you make it possible. So thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you. And I know that, from gratitude, so much can come that heals and empowers. And, I will give you my little teaser. My next theme starting on Friday is live well, laugh often, and love much. That is my next year's theme. So as we go from empowered through purpose to that, I want to congratulate you, celebrate you with all that you do, and everyone here who's joined us in the audience. Thank you so much. It's been a distinct honor to know so many wonderful creatives, especially you, Suze, and just the kind of person you are just makes me feel like I'm doing something right, that I have like people like you in my life. So thank you as well. And with that, everybody, thank you again to Suzanne. Go get her books. They're wonderful. And literally, we are deliberate creators of our lives. I'm going to throw it out there. I will rather than I wish. Let's do that. I will commit to my life, to self-love, and also to living la dolce vita, stopping and smelling the roses, and of all things, manifesting the most beautiful, wonderful journey you can imagine, and wishing you all bliss. December's upon us. I love you all.
Yay.
Peace, love, joy, and live, laugh, love. Mwah. Bellissima. I love you. All right, everybody. Thank you. Love you too.
Bye,
Have
guys.
a good one.